Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. All right, let's see if it's on live here on Facebook real quick. Looks like it's live. Very good.
All right, back in action.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Iggy Garcia is not here with us today. He's had to leave. Gave him a day off today. My name is Chono, Sunny Chono. So we're going to take up where he left off. He lit the candle already, so I'm just reading his notes here. And he did the sage whippity whoopity thing. Very good. And we got the guest on the other side. There he is. Well, there, Sammy. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Welcome again.
We are back. Here we are. And it's just been a pickle today. I don't know what's going on, but anyhow, we're back on the air here. And I apologize to everybody listening to the show today, everything that happened. So good to you. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. Welcome.
All right. You want to take me a little serious there? Yeah, I'll take these glasses off and I'll come back to normal. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Anyhow, well, I'm back. Hey, there he is. So we had some technical difficulties. Like Sammy and I kind of talk real quick. Somebody just wants us to be on the air. Who is they? Anyhow, well, we were talking a little bit. He's kind of giving description about what he's doing. So for those of you who know, he's a quantum touch practitioner. So he works with a lot of infinite love and gratitude. So he comes from a very heart-filled space. And so, I mean, that's probably the gist of it, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we left where we go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that in a typical session, I would ask the person, where does it hurt? You go to the doctor, the doctor says, well, where does it hurt? Well, where do you feel it? And that's where I start.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, very good. So you were talking to me a little bit about, now that you're working, you have to get kind of back out there and do a little work.
Yeah.
To pay bills and stuff, because the way this pandemic has caused a lot of people to do. You were telling me about you working over there at Amazon. Tell us a typical day. Are you allowed to tell us a typical day? Oh, they
I don't think it's very just like, so when I go in there, you gotta wear a mask all day long. And when you walk in, at first I thought it was like identity scan, because it's top secret stuff or whatever, because they don't want people sharing how their equipment runs. That's right. Big high dollar companies, they want to keep their stuff proprietary.
Right, exactly. So,
but I found out it's a thermal scan. They thermal scan every employee that walks in through that door. Oh, and you have to have a key card to get in through the door.
Wow. One by one.
Yeah. And they probably had like three or four cameras.
Okay, so basically they check and make sure you're okay, that you're not bringing in any contagions.
Yeah, I guess a high temperature is one of the symptoms of the COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense. We don't want any sick boxes, Oh
no.
Yeah, because that stuff can get carried on the boxes and travel for. Yeah. So it makes sense. All right, good.
There's a ton of people there too, so there's a lot of people there.
Oh, I can imagine. That's a big facility. It turned into a really big enterprise that Amazon did.
Yeah.
I know their shares are right now running around $2,387.92 because I checked today. Jeez. So they got some backing there.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of money. So if you have $2,387.92 to invest in Amazon one share, go for it. Enjoy. No, but anyhow, back to you, because I think I left off asking you what's your feeling, how you're feeling about all this, and what direction as a metaphysician, as a holistic practitioner. I mean, Well, I mean, tell me a little. I mean, tell me what you're feeling.
I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I think for the most part, this happened because as a collective, worldwide, we asked for change.
Right.
And we got change over time. And then I guess the universe just said, fine, if this is not enough change, here's change this. And then everything completely changed. I mean, we had people were complaining that like they work too much. Either they work too much or they didn't work enough. They didn't have no free time to spend with their kids, their family. They didn't have people didn't have any free time to do the things that they love to do. Be like, well, I have this. Somebody would say, I have a project I would love to do, like start a wood shop, or read a book, or get in touch with my personal feelings and whatever. But I work too much.
Right.
And a collective, we're all part of this energy collective consciousness, universal consciousness. Everybody. It doesn't matter at what level in your journey you are to enlightenment. We're all part of it.
Right.
So the person that down the street that beats his kids, he's part of that. That person is part of that same consciousness as say Buddha.
Yeah.
So we're all part of that.
So all my relations, we're all in this together. We're all part of the collective. So if I hear you right, you're saying that everybody kind of manifested this in together in some way or another. So there's a higher vibration, a higher. Could it be? Can this be a lower vibration too? Is this something that could be something that's not really super high and we bring it into our being?
It's possible. I mean, I couldn't really say how much of a lower vibrational would outweigh a higher vibrational. I think it just balances itself out. But
because in my thoughts kind of go along with you. We kind of brought this onto us and just kind of we attract all kinds of things. So good or bad or good. It's attraction regardless at a certain level. But eventually you have to move out of that lower vibration because you can't stay there too long. I mean, you'll just perish. You'll die.
Yeah,
you'll disintegrate,
Yeah, you'll disevolve.
Yeah, you will. You would just totally go nuts. You'll do all kinds of crazy stuff.
And people are doing all kinds of crazy stuff now. Hoarding toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. That's part of that. People not being in tune with, like we said before, in tune with the higher frequencies that are evolving to a higher level.
Yeah, because right now people want to go back to work because they're fearful. They don't trust their government. They don't trust the establishment will keep their word to not bill them for time off. Do you feel that way? I mean, how do you feel about all that?
I can see how that can happen. How some people do feel that way. I was when I got the word from my previous job that my job was eliminated due to this coronavirus. I had that for that few moments. I had to, oh crap, what am I doing to do? Yeah. I gotta, I can't live. Excuse me, I can't live on unemployment.
Right.
Not with the things that I have accrued, like debt and this and that.
Right.
And whatnot. So, but I like you and other people that are similar to us, I was able to transmute that and move right out of that very shortly. And there's a lot of people who don't know how to do that.
Well, it's probably not an easy task if you've never really worked on it. If hasn't been in your repertoire of things, it can make it really difficult. I can see that.
Yeah, it make it frustrating for somebody who doesn't understand.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I'm frustrated. I get frustrated sometimes during this thing. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm anything spectacular, but the thing is, I believe that it's challenged everybody. I had a dream just now that I was in the soup line. I was like and I helped make the soup. I was like, oh, yeah, the soup's really good. And then when I went to go get the soup, I didn't have a bowl, or the bowl dropped, and then I looked at the guy, and he's like, "Where's your bowl?" And I go, "I don't have a bowl. I don't have a bowl." He says, "What color is it today?" I guess it was a color code that day,
Oh,
and I'm going, I don't know. And he goes, "Well, then you're getting them." I said, "Well, I guess that's what I get for listening to my wife," is what I said. And I just went down and just walked away, and just sulked away. And then I woke up, and someone was reading me Bible verses, and I didn't really want to hear them. I was like, so it's like it was an interesting dream. I just had because I had to take a nap because I was just so tired.
yeah.
That was my dream.
See, I see that. If I would see that as like, say your core beliefs are being your core beliefs are being rewired or rethought, reorganized or broke down or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I take that, as when you said that someone was reading you Bible verses and you're like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
That's kind of your core beliefs are being rearranged,
Yeah.
rechanged, and restructured.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny part was when I wanted soup and I didn't have my bowl, I'm the one who made the damn soup. That's why I was kind of like upset about that. Anyhow, but it's how it is, That's the reality of it. That's a good assessment though. Our
Yeah,
core beliefs are being challenged,
yeah,
and there's things that are rolling through our heads that we wonder about. A lot of people have had loss, family members passing away during this time. I had family members pass away way before, I mean, a year or 2 years before all this. And I thought about them, going, I wonder if they would have been okay, this time. I wonder if they could have handled that, and part of me goes, my dad probably could, my mom probably wouldn't. That would have been really
it's been
tragic if
really hard.
it would have been tragic if my mom contracted COVID or something, and then because she was obviously destined to pass away, in this between these before or after periods,
Yeah,
and not being able to see her, and acknowledge her, because that's the stories that are coming out of the campaments, so I don't know, just kind of crazy. Now, I don't know anybody personally, that personally I know who've passed away from the COVID virus, but I know a lot of people whose families passed away, and I send them a lot of love and prayers and condolences to them. So those who are watching, those who will watch later.
yeah.
So Sammy, I know now, how do we go to the next level? How do we go into this next evolution without feeling that we're giving ourselves away, or that, the government's taking advantage of us? I mean, so what would you recommend to somebody, especially somebody new?
Somebody new, I would say look inside yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What are your core beliefs?
Right.
What what do you hold, like, what do you hold dear to your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Like family, your pets, something something that has to anchor you in the vibration of love, joy, gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some people it's going out in nature. Some
Yeah.
people it's fishing. Something something that takes us out of that vibration of that lower vibrations of the negative feelings, the hate, anger, fear, because those things
Mm-hmm.
will stop us from evolution.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do stuff that brings us joy, gratitude, love, um, compassion, and we can share that with other people, that'll also, like, it'll radiate from that individual.
Yeah,
It doesn't have,
absolutely.
yeah, it doesn't have to be something. It doesn't have to be like $1 million. That'll make anybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
But is it is it is it what that person needs?
Right.
People now, especially people that aren't aware of metaphysical world, and what that I believe what they need is they need that compassion, they need that gratitude, they need that helping hand, they need hey, you're doing a good job today.
Sure.
You know, you got out of bed. You're doing great.
Yeah, we like to be acknowledged as human beings. We like to be acknowledged for who we are, not necessarily for what we do, but who we are and why. Because we're part of this. We're here in this time to be part of something big. It's pretty big.
It's pretty. It's probably one of the biggest events that happened since Egyptian times.
Yeah, this has been pretty big for me. This is something that is just, you can't really fathom it because you're kind of in your basement or in your attic or your bedroom or your TV. But even if you go outside, you still can't fathom it. You still can't grasp of the severity and how big it is, because it's not necessarily a personal thing. It's just something that naturally occurs in nature, and it's exponentially growing very big and fast that we can't grasp onto that. It's big. It's a big deal. It's because it's global.
Yeah, that's what it's global. It's hard to to find the beginning and the end in something that's global.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe that. It's hard to grasp it because you don't know how you fit in all this. And it's just our stories that we share with everybody and one another is going to be the thing that's very valuable. You know, what we got from this, what we're learning from this, what we're going to be moving through this. I do believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Your podcast and your Facebook Live, it's kind of like how the ancient civilizations drew on cave walls.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I believe that.
So, yeah, it's kind of like a digital version of that.
Yeah, telling a story. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very, very excellent point. Sometime they'll go back in history and they'll watch some of these podcasts. Maybe they'll watch our podcast.
That'd be awesome.
Sammy and Iggy. They're like, hey, look at those guys. They look like brothers.
Talking about quantum touch. Don't they know there's some stuff out there that's better?
So tell me about quantum touch. So I know that you're working. Can you do it remotely? Is that something you do remotely?
Yes, you do this. It can be done distantly, just like Reiki or any other energy-based healing modality.
Yeah. So what's that look like? What's a remote session look like? Say you want to send me some energy for my droopy eye from the this pressure I'm having on my head from the sinuses and all that.
First of all, we need consent.
Okay, I give you consent. You have my consent.
So I would by having your consent, I'd either have a phone call, like face-to-face phone call, or speakerphone or something, or even a text.
Sure.
But I would since I would have your consent, I would have your permission from the universe to access the energy essence of Iggy.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
And I wouldn't, not your specific energy, not your soul, but the signature of your energy.
Okay, so hold that thought for a minute. As I clear my throat. Explain to me that a little bit. Maybe we're thinking the same things. Maybe you give me I'll learn something new here today.
So everybody has an energy signature, like in our energetic field. That's what we put out to the world,
right?
To the universe. What we put in the universe, what we put in our energetic field, it reacts to the universal energy, and it creates in 3D, three-dimensional.
Interesting.
So what I do is I interact into that energetic field.
Okay.
Because our energy projects outwards into this field. So I interact with that field.
That's interesting. Okay.
And I can grab that energy signature of say your eye. And then you would feel that energy, because it would be a part. It's still a part of you, but it's not you physically.
Interesting. It's funny because in shamanism, we do similar thing through soul retrieval. We kind of go into that kind of feel the same. That's interesting. So continue on the journey, how that works.
So, and then I would have already created a sacred space.
Right. Okay.
Now, when I do a sacred space, I bring earth energy up, up through the root, all the way up to the crown, and I'll bring spirit energy down from my crown from the heavens through my crown down into earth energy.
Okay.
And then that creates a sacred space. The connection between earth keeps me grounded, so I'm not wandering around in somebody else's energy field picking up their stuff.
Right. Exactly.
And then I'm connected to spirit, so I can channel energy from the spirit. Because when I in a session, my consciousness is not there.
What do you mean by that?
Like,
I know what consciousness is. Okay.
A part of my consciousness is there just to be aware of my surrounding.
Okay.
When I go into that space. It's like when people channel spirits for like a seance or something. You know,
okay.
They're there, but they're not.
Okay.
I've had people tell me about my eyes look different.
Okay.
But because I'm just the anchor of that energy to come through, and then I raise my vibrational will go high as I can get with breathing techniques and just cycling it through that energy, and then I can target or work on a specific spot, and that individual I'm working on, their energy, their vibrational match mine. So like entrainment or whatever. Right. And it facilitates that healing. It accelerates the natural healing of that person.
Now, is the person usually laying on the table or are they in a chair?
If it's a remote, it doesn't matter where they're at.
Okay.
You get, as long as they're in a relaxed state.
Okay.
But I do have a massage tables. Most people do lay down on a massage table for this.
Okay.
Now I with that quantum touch, I can reset. I can reset bones back into the normal original state. Like I've reset people's vertebrae,
really,
knees. I had a lady come to a booth one time. I had an expo with TMJ, and in a half hour, she had no pain.
That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So that you're taking the energy and reformatting and rebooting and recreating matter to some degree, because you're saying TMJ it's a physical thing.
Yeah.
You know, also it has some components where, you know, in your mind too, where you're just locked down.
Yeah.
Physically and spiritually. So I find that most things that are physical have a spiritual connection. There's a connection. There's a disconnect between the two.
There's also an emotional aspect of it too.
Yes, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I find that when people are in great pain of any kind, there's usually an emotional attachment to that.
Okay.
And then the reason what I have found is that a lot of people that are in that kind of a pain, that they put that emotion aside to say, well, I'll get to it later, or I'll take care of that later. And then because they don't deal with that emotion, it manifests physically.
Okay. Let's see. We have a question here, Heather Amber. Do you believe in blocks being placed on people to prevent them from their natural abilities?
It's possible, yeah.
Okay. There's possibilities of that.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know why anybody would do it, but
some people aren't nice.
Yeah, well.
You know, but I think what happens to Heather, maybe you can help me with this. Sometimes I think what happens is when blocks are put there by others is people have a way of knowing which buttons to push on people. They know how to find that little crease in your armor, and they kind of go there. The question is, we kind of let them there in some degree or another, not totally, but some degree, because we're vulnerable. They found our vulnerable spot, and then what we do is we stuff the energy, and we put that blocked energy into us, because physically we just disconnected from parts of ourselves. We're all disconnected from parts of ourselves. That's just
Yeah.
a natural thing. That's because we're human beings. We have feelings, we have emotions, and we express them. And expression doesn't mean you have to go out and yell, "Oh, I'm mad." No, sometimes we stuff it in, and then we blow up, and then we become lethargic. We become angry. There's many aspects to it.
Like I gained over 100 pounds when I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I let somebody take control over every aspect of who I was, and I was up to almost 300 pounds.
Wow. Yeah, you have a great story too about how you came from a heavy weight all the way down. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I joined the gym and I joined Weight Watchers, but I got tired of not having control over myself, my physical self and my spiritual self. And when I started Weight Watchers, I started getting rid of the weight, and as I was getting rid of the weight, I got more confidence. I said, this is doable. I can do this. And so as I got healthier, I got more confidence, and I noticed once I got more confidence and felt better about myself, I started my spiritual journey got stronger and stronger, and I was able to do more with that.
Mm-hmm.
And amongst all this stuff, my soon-to-be ex, she left because that person couldn't control me like they used to, because I took that back.
Yeah, I remember you. That's when I first met you. You were a very heavy person.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you took the courage and the accountability for yourself to do something different and change your life. You look great. You look fantastic. You're doing a really amazing job. And I know it's probably not easy either, because you have to continue working at it. It's not something just, here I am, look at me, I'm 300 pounds lighter or 100 pounds lighter, but you got to keep going. You got to keep moving.
Yeah. But it took for me, it took 10 years of that person pushing the buttons until I just physically, mentally, and spiritually had enough.
Right.
It was a breaking point.
Good.
So
I'm good. I'm glad that you found that, because a lot of people who are listening to this show probably are in similar situations where they have a significant other or just somebody they know who just knows how to get into that. That's kind of answering the question, about somebody who can put blocks there. Sometimes we put blocks there to block them out too.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's another part of your question. Sometimes, so how do we cut that energy away from us? Some people mentioned, they said cutting cords. The thing that I find, Sammy, is a lot of people don't understand the terminologies that we use. Cutting cords. It's kind of like, you take a cord and you cut it,
Yeah.
But people have to understand there's some energy cords too. There's some things that we just get attached. There's so many, we're so complex, and we're so, we're very, whatever created us.
We're very complicated.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in our little pinky finger,
Yeah.
let alone all of us. And so to think that we can't be compromised, it's just not right. We do get compromised, we get compromised.
People are compromised every day.
And, words are the most powerful thing. Words are probably could be the most detrimental things to someone, to another human being, how you talk to them and how you speak to them. And it could also be the most beautiful thing, how you talk to them and how you speak to them, and bring them out of a place of darkness, bring them into a place of more light, or even brighten their light even more than what it already was.
And that's what I try and use my experiences from what I went through to say, well, so this person over here is, they're feeling kind of down, I'll go talk to them, find out what's going on. And maybe their families mean to them, whatever reason.
Yeah.
Well, I went through that. Maybe not exact, but I went through that similar situation, so I can empathize with that person. I can say, oh, you know, this is what I did, and this is how I did this, this is how I did that, and maybe that would help them. If it doesn't help, at least they know they're not alone.
Yeah, and you know the funny part about energy work, and you may agree or disagree with me, but is once we work on somebody through shamanism, quantum touch, whatever modality people work, people feel great. Okay, a lot of people go, "Oh my God, I feel great," you know. But we have to be able to give them some tools to be able to step back into that world that they came from, and give them a little different kind of a roadmap.
Yeah.
To how to navigate now versus going right back into the same situation, and they're good for a while because they feel better, they feel stronger, but that other person sometimes is the person who is also very vulnerable. That person who's very wicked to the other person is very vulnerable, or just maybe they're not wicked, maybe they're just hurt person, maybe they just don't understand the ramifications of their actions. But the person that you helped is the person that we have to make sure that they're okay when they're walking out your door, because what happens is they can just slowly but surely or very quickly fall right back into the same patterns, and then they're back on your table.
Yeah. If we don't help the area, the situation where they originated, home, work, church, whatever the root cause of that is, if you don't address that, then that person's just gonna keep going back and coming back, going there and coming back. It's gonna be an endless cycle of, oh, they feel good when they leave, but then they feel like crap when they get back to where they were.
Yeah, because I know people sometimes say, "Hey, well, here's a stone. Take this stone with you. It'll help protect you." And that person believes it. But I tell you, man, and I've done this work for many, many years, over 30 plus years, and you give stuff to somebody and that person's empowered by that stone, but then they go right back to that person who is just toxic, and sometimes they don't understand that. And I never encourage anybody to leave anybody or do anything, but I encourage people to like maybe think about what's going on in their environment, because their environment is what's causing a lot of the stuff. It's not necessarily what's happening to you. You're just taking on the residue in the aftermath of that stuff. And then they have their stone, and it's like, oh, that's stupid. What you got that stone for? That stone. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
So I mean, really helping the person who's been healed, because their healing is self-healing, because they searched you out, they searched people out. That's where we have to empower people who are looking for a new life, because we are healers. Yes, we help them process and facilitate their healing, but you know what, the healing is their healing. When we empower them to know that their healing is self-healing, and because they took that initial step to find help and to move into that place, that means that they are willing to heal themselves and participate in something that's very magical, something that's very, sometimes that's no words for. And that's why I always tell people, all healing is self-healing, because you're taking the steps for healing. And you will find people who are healers, who are healing themselves as well, and they're working on themselves, because a true healer never stops working on themselves. They always continue working. They're always finding new modalities, finding new ways to heal, learning. Even the great masters keep practicing their kung fu. They don't stop sparring. They keep going, and they put on their glasses, and they become, you just got to keep doing the work, man. You can't stop. Keep going. You got to keep moving.
That's right. I like to give people the tools that I've learned in my experiences to help somebody out, for them to practice. And I'll show them, I explain to them, say, okay, this is somebody brand new to this. I said, this is what sage does. This is how you do the sage. This is how you do like the sweetgrass, the Palo Santo, all the different things, the incense, all that stuff. This is how you do that. And this is like, I got a singing bowl. This is how you use your singing bowl. This is with all your intentions of good and changing your life and all of that all those different things. I don't want, because when I started my journey, there was very little of that. Very little people out to show you how to help you in your journey, to teach you and sit without paying for it.
Yeah. And when I do sessions, my sessions, I do them for, excuse me, they may go 90 minutes, but it's not rare for me to go into session for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I've gone 3, because in shamanism we have this first ceremony, which is actually listening and not talking and letting the person speak to you. And I've had people just walk out the door and go, I'm glad that I had someone just to talk to, versus all the jambalaya that you have to put on there and all the juju and all of the show. But the ego needs that sometimes. It needs validation. It needs to see and feel something. So the ceremonial part works too. But there are times where I just sat there, listened, and interject just a little bit, and heard what they wanted somebody to hear. Sometimes they just wanted you to hear one little thing. And that one little thing is the thing that shifts their whole perception on how they will navigate the rest of their life. That's why words are very powerful, and listening is very powerful. I think we live in a society right now that we don't listen enough. We want to interject our ideas, our philosophies, and all the things that we think we know, and we're going to fix you and take this pill and,
this pill, drink this drink, use this machine. And we got fitness experts that are 6, 8, 12-pack abs, ripped up and everything. Use this machine, you'll get ripped just like me.
Yeah,
the average person, no, you're not.
You're gonna get ripped
20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You'll look like me. No, you won't.
No, it takes dedication, and I think if they would, those things need to be spelled out. I believe that sometimes we want change so bad that we're willing to do anything. We will pay anything sometimes to create change. Beautiful, valid change. And nothing against the buff woman or man who's advertising the stuff, but sometimes it's an illusion. They create an illusion that may not be realistic, because everybody physically, spiritually, emotionally are different.
Yep.
Your physicality is different than mine. Your physiology is different than mine. Your physiology is different than hers. And that one fix it all scenario doesn't work for everybody. And that's why I believe that in the work and the practice I do is listening gives us clues and gives us ideas and gives us these aha moments where we're going, wow. And then you echo back to them and say, hey, let me echo back to you what I heard. And then they go, wow, you heard me. Or no, that's not how I said it. This is what I really meant to say. So that's what I like about energy work. I like the aspects of energy work. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. And I don't consider myself a healer. I'm just a tool. The individual is their own healer, like you were saying.
Yep. We're the hollow bone, like they say in shamanism. We're the hollow bone, and we follow the smoke.
Yep.
We follow the smoke. The smoke's important to follow, because the smoke is where it leads you to these amazing discoveries and places. You never know where you're going to end up, and you never know why you're there. That's kind of been my life. I follow the smoke, and I'm going, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm supposed to be here, and things will make themselves clear now or later, eventually. And it's an interesting journey. It can be
that's like this job with Amazon. Someone asked me, why would you go work there? I said, I was told to get a job, and this job just happened. This job at Amazon just happened to be there, and I went there to do some paperwork through their recruitment center. And on one of the signs it says when you're here, you're an Amazonian. I'm like, well,
okay.
And then I leave there.
It's like, do you want to pay my bills, Bill? I don't think so. So move along. I have to go to work. Yeah. I like that. You're an Amazonian, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm probably the only person there that ever thought that was humorous.
Yeah. Where the guy next to you going, what's wrong with this cot? So you're laughing at himself. It's just listen. No, I'm joking. That's funny. No, but that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Be an Amazonian. I want to be an Amazonian, but I guess I can't be an Amazonian if I'm not an Amazon, right? So
Oh man.
yeah, humor is good, right?
Yeah.
Gotta laugh. We gotta laugh at ourselves sometimes.
Gotta laugh.
Yeah.
You gotta enjoy life.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm trying to do the best I can. It's not always easy, but hey, But I try to go to healers too. I try to do my part to keep myself healthy, keep myself healed, because if I don't, I can't help anybody else find their way on their journey. If I'm compromised, then I'm kind of like, it's like jumping into a car and the battery's dead. Yeah, you're a nice car, but we ain't going anywhere. It's like
no gas in the tank.
Yeah, I'd be like this. Yeah, I'm on. Look at my car. It's nice, man. Yeah, I like it. But we ain't going nowhere. But that's true. I mean, we have to make sure that our tank is full too, that we're also healthy and that we're also working through the process. And healers are probably the most that need most work, man, because we take on a lot of stuff. Even though we brush it off, we ground it and we move it and we recycle it back into the universe, there's also residue. There's also that little stuff that's left by. It's like walking through a power plant. I don't care how many times you walk through the power plant, you're picking up something,
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, when you're a human being, you're walking through energy fields, you're walking through people, you're laying on hands, you're cleansing, you're cleaning, and you're picking up stuff. And right now I'm picking up on a lot of stuff from the whole neighborhood and distance, being in the work we do. Most healers are empathic. Some are more empathic than others. They're more deeply embedded in the empathy of that. I don't know if that's a word, but anyhow,
it is now.
But anyhow, we being empathic doesn't mean that you have to own everything.
No,
and that's the farce. I love my holistic friends. Oh, I'm so empathic. I just feel everybody's energy. I do that sometimes, but it's just funny. I love my community. I could make so much fun of them sometimes because they just crack me up. It's the best. You could create such comedy from the work we do. Just like drum circles. Oh my gosh. My family has one version of what I do drumming and the other half has the version of what I do. It's like, but it's funny. If you're not in it, you don't know it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people who aren't in this field of work don't understand it. That's why they think it's woo-woo. That's why they think it's weird. And that's why they think that we're like goofies and we're hippies and witches.
We work outside the realm of God.
Yeah. Oh, look, that guy's got a panda hat on. But then they'll go to sporting and they go panda, go panda, go panda. But it's just funny how it is. It's just perception is everything, and sometimes we get a misperception of who we are. And we're good people. We're like everybody. We're just trying to do our part. We just have a different calling. Our calling is a very spiritual calling. It's a very deep calling. Sometimes it doesn't have a name. There's a lot of holistic work out there. There's a lot of workers out there, a lot of healers like you and me who can't name what they do because it doesn't have a name.
It doesn't
have a name. It's just, we just give it a name so people can kind of grasp to it. If you want any kind of name, we're probably mysticals. We're mystics, we're like people who are just connected. We're alchemists. Yeah. We're that guy in the movie you watch, they go and they talk to Merlin. We're like Merlin kind of, we're like those. We're not necessarily, we're a different type of warrior, different type of peacemaker, and I find that really interesting because I used to come up to that kind of stuff. Now, not so much anymore. People just know that I am who I am, and I do what I do, and I don't get too much flack anymore. That's what I love about the work I do. Now I can do it in peace. I don't have to worry because you know what happened? Because I came to a point where I didn't give a crap. I'm going to do it. You don't like it? Fine. Then you and I ain't friends. We're just going to move on. Good luck to you. Good luck to me. You come to a point where, it's like, you're not embarrassed anymore. you're not shy anymore, you know, about it. You really care about what you're doing. It really means something to you.
It's your passion. You're very
It's your
passionate
passion.
about it.
Yeah. And it's just like no one can really phase you, really. Not anymore.
Somebody asks you, what do you do for fun? Well, I help people. Well, what do you help them with? I said, well, I help them with their emotions and imbalances in their energy systems. Like, okay, bye.
Yeah. What do you do for a living? I work in an amusement park. Come to my house. I'll show you an amusement. But you know, that's in a nutshell what we do. I mean, I know it's very complex, and I try to find humor, and I'm sure you do too, in the work that we do, because the work that we do could be very serious, and sometimes it could be very taxing. It can be taxing. It doesn't have to be. It can be. It just can be. You have some cases that are just very deep and very strong rooted things that you have to deal with. Yep. And you know, I love the work I do because every day is a different day. Every person that you run into is different. Yeah.
Every situation is different.
Oh, every situation is different. I've never seen a situation even similar. You know, I can't go, well, that situation of 1895, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just very different. That's what I like about it, because you just don't know some days you're busy, some days you're not, and you know, that's just the walk of the healer, you know. But we're here.
But we do know at the end of the day we help somebody.
Oh yeah, and you know, I'm a big believer. If I help one person, then I've done my job, because that person, when they step out of my space and my office or whatever, then they go out into the world and they're able to project outwardly the feelings that they're feeling to other people. And then that person someone else goes, what happened to you? Oh, dude, I just had this amazing session, blah, blah, blah. Really? What did they do? And then they tell you, and then they go off. They don't necessarily come back to me, but they can go off and they start doing research. They search and they go to another practitioner. They go, boom. Then that's 2 people. Boom. Then 3 people. Boom. People. You know, it's not this big, huge explosion, but you know, that little explosion creates massive explosion. That creates just quantum explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that ripple effect.
Oh yeah. You throw one stone, because you know, you can throw a lot of stones in.
Yeah.
You know, and you get a lot of ripples. But when you throw that one ripple, if you watch, because here's what happens. That one ripple keeps going wider and wider and wider, more. But if you throw a lot of stones in, the ripples go and they stop very quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just go, you know, you get ripples and they're done. But when you throw that one stone,
keeps going.
And so that's kind of the philosophy that I've built my work around. That, you know, one person is, you know, I'll do a drum circle if one person was in it. I'll do one class if only one person was in it, because I would want somebody, and not even act like that it wasn't meant to be 10 people. It was meant to be one person. Yeah. I always go in with the intention that if one person shows up, then that's the one person I'm supposed to work with.
Yep.
And that's served me well over the years. Served me great. I don't cancel just because no one shows up. I just go. I've done drum circles by myself in the beginning when I first started.
Yeah.
I would be the only one to go, well, where's everybody at?
Well, you might have just needed it for yourself.
Exactly. That's the point there. That's exactly the point. And, you know, maybe I misadvertised. Maybe I went the wrong day. You know?
Maybe you took a nap.
That's it. You know, I've been in sweat lodge by myself, you know, and not because nobody wanted to come. It was just what the universe was handing me that day. It's powerful stuff, man. It's amazing stuff.
I've done expos where I've only had 8 people the whole weekend, but those 8 people got what they needed. Exactly.
And so, if there's anything that we're talking here and sharing with you guys today on Facebook land, is that you know, the core powerful work is the individual work. And, you know, the core individual work is each one of us who is watching and listening to this show. And as you're working on yourself, you're helping others work on themselves, because you're an example. I'm an example. You're an example. We're all examples to the world that it's possible. So Sammy, we're running here, our time's running down. So is there anything that you want to leave with our listeners? Anything you want to just share with them before we call it a night?
I guess you can sum it all up to look inside yourself, find something, even if it's one thing, but find something that gives you that unconditional joy. When you find that, share it with somebody else.
Yeah, I like that.
Not necessarily that exact thing, but that vibration of that joy from whatever you found that brings you that great joy. Share that joy, that feeling. Share that with somebody else.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Sammy, I want to thank you for being on the show with me. And I apologize for the technical difficulties, but that's how the universe wanted it to be.
That's how, yep.
You know, that's how we were supposed to navigate and flow. And we came back and we revamped and we started, and we, you know, maybe we were going the right direction or the wrong direction. We'll never know, but we're in this direction. We're going down this path. And here we are at the end of this segment. And so I want to thank you. And I want to just say, keep doing what you're doing, because you bring good stuff to the world. We appreciate you. And those who would like to have a session with Sammy, he's on Facebook. Do you have any contact information or anything you want to give us?
I have a Facebook page and I have a website.
Tell us about your website.
CastrosQuantumHealing.com.
What was that again?
CastrosQuantumHealing.com.
CastrosQuantumHealing.com.
All lowercase, no spaces.
Okay. Awesome. Very good, sir. And so, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. So everybody who's out there listening, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We covered a lot of information. We had some laughs. We talked about individual healings and how that works, and how we can move forward into new versions of ourselves. Sammy's story about himself being overweight and how he changed and physically changed his body, which in turn helped him spiritually reopen and open gaps and pieces and parts of himself that he wasn't aware of, which empowered him to step up into his power, to move into a place of authority for himself and confidence for himself. And so, you know, he's a good testament that what happens when we work on ourselves, and when we heal ourselves and we work on ourselves. And he's going to still be working on himself.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to keep working on himself, as I am, as you are.
Never stops.
That's right. You never stop. So I want to say to you guys, whatever you are in alignment with, I want to say it's good to be here. Ho'oponopono, matakuyasin, irisikwi, aho, you know, all the things, you know, whatever you are in line, whatever that is, namaste, you know, make sure that when you say it, you mean it, that it's in your heart. And if you don't feel it, say it until you feel it, because you know what? It means something. When someone says namaste, they feel it. When someone says it's good to be here, they see the excitement in you. You know, so when you say aho, you've made, you know, an affirmation, you know, of something. So let's try to make this a better place. Let's try to work better. Let's get into a place where we can actually work through this pandemic together, and we can all come out of this stronger and come out of it more brighter. You know, we always know that the shadows are kind of lurking around, and we can bring the shadows back into harmony with us, okay, in rhythm with us. But let's not forget that we are all pieces of the creation, pieces and splinters of love, pieces and parts of the universe, that we are all in this. You know, there's some people saying that, what's that mean to be in this together? What it means to be in it together is that we're all feeling the effects of what's happening globally in the world. That's what it means to be in this all together. With that, I just want to say thank you, Sammy. Thank you, my friend. It's been a great pleasure to have you on the air and share time with me. And I want to thank everybody else for tuning in. And you guys have a great, amazing night. And we will see you Wednesday here. Actually, we'll see you tomorrow at the drum circle, for those of you who want to drum, at 8 o'clock. And then we have Julie North will be on next week. All right. And Krista will be on with us. She will be joining us on next Friday. So it's going to be a jam-packed week again. And then eventually we'll go back to our drum circles and the things that we do. Peace and love. Love you guys. Take care. Have a good evening.